him who knows and holds and has authority of the battle, to him comes the victory. Hi, this is Barry Phillips of 10 Minute Torah, Day 5 of Torah portion Bo, and this is indeed a spiritual warfare Torah portion. Even much more today, we are in Exodus, Shemot, chapter 12. Verse 17 says, "And you shall guard the festival of Matzot, for on this day I brought your divisions out of the land of Mitzrayim, and you shall guard this day throughout your generations, an everlasting law." Before we get into the text analysis here, I want to take just a moment to do something other lest I run out of time at the end, and that is to say thank you for watching 10 Minute Torah. Thank you to those who also watch Foundations for Life with Mike Clayton and myself, and who tune in on our Shabbat afternoon live stream from House of David. For those that are now going to be participating in the Torah 101 class that we will be live streaming on Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern Time. So we're trying to offer a variety of instruction, encouragement, and for those who watch, to you who comment, to those who like a video, those who support us by going to remnantofisrael.com and hitting the donate button, all of that and any of that, that's all very much appreciated. But most of all, thank you for those who say you pray for us. It is your prayers that make the greatest impact and offer the greatest sense of support. Don't want to let any time go by too often without taking a moment and just saying thank you. I appreciate very much your support and encouragement from this channel. Now, verse 17 says that the focus of Hag Matzot, the festival of Matzah, is the fact that Yah brought his divisions out of Mitzrayim. This is a military phrasing. This is army language, if you will. Typically, when we are eating matzot, we're thinking, man, this bread, it just does not have the same flavor as the toast I had a few days ago, or those hot buttered biscuits I've been eating. So we invent our toppings, and we try to dress it up to the best of our ability and flavor it some so that we can eat matzah. And I've encouraged our folks in House of David, at some point, leave the pizza part off, or the chicken salad, or the peanut butter, or the honey, and just break off a piece of plain matzah and put it in your mouth. And no, it's not flavorful, but it is bread of endurance, and it will sustain you more so than you realize. And you need to eat it just some daily to catch the flavor of Yah's favor, the flavor of his favor. And that is that Yah is with us, and he is calling us to be like him, to be set apart unto him. And that means to get rid of what leaven symbolizes, chametz symbolizes sin. That is that we are inflated in our ego, inflated in our opinions, our worldviews and perspectives, and Yah says, I want you to calm it down. And let's get back to basics, and let's get down to some simplicity here. So Yah says that we are to eat and guard the festival of Matzot, because this is the day that he brought his divisions, his armies, out of the land of Mitzrayim. This is a plural possessive version of the word Savaot, the host of heaven. It is your divisions. So what armies are we talking about? Did Israel go out of the land with sword and shield? Well, no, not really. They didn't have access necessarily to these. So what is it that we see as far as an army goes? Well, if we go over to the book of 2 Samuel, and in chapter 5, Uh, David has just been crowned as king at Hebron. The elders of the tribes of Israel, other than Yehuda, other than Judah at this point, have crowned him as king, and the Philistines have come and they've set themselves in array against him. Yah tells him to go up against them, and he defeats them. And then they come a second time into the same valley, the valley of Rephaim, and they array themselves a second time in front of David. And David says, Master, shall I go up against them? And he said, no, go around behind them and situate yourself in front of the mulberry trees. And when you hear the sound of stepping or marching, you hear the sounds of troops over your head in the tops of the mulberry trees. Obviously, this is not human troops. This is a spiritual squad of those that are protecting and guarding. He said, then go against him, and he defeated them greatly. Whenever there is warfare, physical warfare, whether it involves Israel or not, conflicts between any nations, there are spiritual entities that we have to understand that are also involved in the conflict. If we would think that the kingdom of darkness is all codified and cohesive and without division, we might be fooling ourselves. Those who practice sorcery and witchcraft have written in their memoirs or their storylines how that as they practice their arts of darkness and deception, that they have competitions and they have wars of sorts. They have alliances of some witches against others, and they throw curses at one another and a great competition. So everything is not as together as we might be led to believe. So opposing nations, neither of which might be righteous in Yah's estimation, the forces that are over them, the principalities, it could be that they very much are at war in the heavenlies over them. Even more so when it comes to those that are righteous. So we also look then in 2 Kings chapter 6. And Elisha is surrounded by an Aramean army. And his servant is panicked and said, well, no, what are we going to do? There's a huge number there. Elisha the prophet prayed that Yah would open his servant's eyes, and he looked out, and he said, the mountains were filled with horses and chariots of fire. He said, there are more that are for us than those who are against us. And Elisha was not afraid. In 2 Kings chapter number 19, during the days of Hezekiah, Sennacherib the Assyrian came down with an enormous army, laid siege or planned to lay siege to Jerusalem, and one messenger of Yah, one, went out and overnight slew 185,000 men. It was so devastating the next morning when the Assyrian army saw all these dead that they just packed up and went home, and Sennacherib ended up being assassinated. What are you saying? When Yah's people set themselves apart unto Yah, which is a theme that we readily attribute to matzah, getting back to basics, getting rid of the chametz, the leaven in our lives, looking for the hidden places where sin just creeps in and finds a lodging place. When we set ourselves apart, let us also understand then that Yah's armies, Yah's powers, his heavenly hosts, they move in our direction. David went out against Goliath and said that the battle is Yahweh's. And in Deuteronomy 24, it says, Yah, he is he that goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you. Yah's for you. Set yourself apart unto him. Serve him. And let his strength take care of all your needs. Shabbat shalom. Be blessed. Be blessed with the King. Enjoy the King's presence. And we hope to see you again next week. Until then, Shabbat Shalom.